Pakistan has said that they used their Chinese fighter jets. They have said it openly. China is, of course, boasting about it. And, till recently, international media reports were always that Chinese technology is reverse technology. Their aircraft was a butt of all jokes, whether in America or Europe, from the defense manufacturers to the media reports and all. But now they have managed to, come out in this smiling in the narrative, saying that our J-10s were fabulous. What do you have to say to that?
I think that if you see the Chengdu aerospace company stock value, the way it has gone down, I think that would give you an answer.
Okay, and Dassault went up despite the fact
and
that...
Sir, if they are saying, and they were on the in the initial period, they were even flying the JF-17s, J-10s, and the Chinese aircraft. Were we able to, as air defense, were we able to hit any of them, sir? The aircraft?
So
bigger size or smaller size?
It is like this, that I'm sure Pakistan as a nation is well aware of the capability our air defense has. It is well aware of the capability of our Indian Air Force. It is well aware of our capability of our EW systems. And hence, flying in depth was not going to give them any major benefit. So, in my perception, that they really didn't fly too much. The very fact that they were using civilian aircraft to fly international and national carriers only tells you that they were trying to ensure that, knowing our nation doesn't harm anybody from a civilian in any form, they knew we wouldn't try and shoot down their aircrafts, even if they were behind the Pakistan international carriers or the national carrier of Pakistan. In spite of conflict, the first thing that you do in conflict is to make sure that your airspace is closed for national and international flights. But they never let that happen. They let these flights fly. And I think that's a very major lesson that we've got to take away. That imagine what would have happened to their people. I think the restraint showed by the Indian armed forces and the Air Force, we had, if we wanted to be as aggressive as we could be, and we brought down a Pakistan international carrier, a national aircraft with civilians on board, I mean, that would have been criminal.
Was there an opportunity that a fighter aircraft, could you see a Pakistani fighter flying behind a civilian carrier, and you allowed them to move away or go away? Was there an opportunity?
No, I'm just saying that this was I'm trying to bring out the thought process of Pakistan as a state.
To move its civilian aircraft.
That's what I'm trying to bring. I'm trying to bring out that you moved your civilians indirectly, as for whatever purpose. I mean, why
even though NOTAM was on.
Yeah, NOTAM for them was not on. I mean, they had to decide to close their airspace, which they didn't do. They should have closed their airspace.
Wasn't it on for Pakistan too at that?
No, Pakistan, that is for the government of that country to issue.
Did they issue or
no, they did not.
That is the huge issue. And that is why the Indian government brought this out, that Pakistan civil airlines were flying. And the first thing you do when there is this type of threat is that you close your airspace.
It was closed, right? All international carriers were not flying over Pakistan.
I said national and Pakistan carriers.
Their international.
Yeah. So doesn't the world look into this matter? Which means that suppose a PIA flight is flying from Venice to Islamabad. I'm just randomly saying. Why will they allow their citizens to sit in a PIA aircraft, knowing that Pakistan International Airlines can fly in a conflict zone? Doesn't that matter to the world?
I think it tells you about a mindset. I think that's what we should look at.
And sir,
it's not a military mindset, right, sir? To put a civilian in front of you.
We never do it. The moment this thing happened, we ensured that our civil population was protected. 32 airfields were under NOTAM.
The reason I'm asking you is that you have to know the mind of your enemy, right? As a forge, you need to know the mind of your enemy. If your enemy is not behaving like a uniformed military army is supposed to behave, it's behaving more like a jihadi army, which is using a civilian front. Even the terrorist targets, if you see the target that we hit in Bawalpur or in Murid Ke, they had their terrorist training camp, and outside they had a mosque and a public health center. So now you're talking in terms of it's a military jihadi complex, and so your enemy is not just a military, is not just a uniform military, right? So do you get to understand that that mindset where they can do that? Is that how you got to see?
I think the best way to describe this is irrationality.
Which is more dangerous.
It's extremely dangerous. Irrationality is a very dangerous form of warfare. Because that's why their targets were civilian populations, religious centers. I mean, that's irrational.
Do subscribe to the ANI Clips channel to get shorter versions of this podcast. Click here to watch the full episode.